Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Friday, August 5th, 2022. I am Timothy Jaikran. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines this evening, government exploring commercial arm of Guyana's Air Corp, says President Ali. Hydrogen is renewable source of the future, says President Ali. Over 3 kg of ganja found during police raids. Heftier fines expected as GPF EPA tackle noise nuisance. And 24-year-old charged for death of BERBICE businessman. Now for the news in detail. With the aim of establishing an air corp that is the go-to in the region, the Guyana government is looking to integrate the civil aviation sector and the Guyana Defense Force Air Corp as it seeks to commercialize the service. Vanu Manikchan reports.
This was revealed by Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Dr. Irfan Ali, while addressing the ranks of the Air Corps at the Air Corps hangar in Tamari on Thursday. He explained that his visit was to conduct an on-the-spot analysis in order to get an understanding of how integrated things are within the Air Corps and identify the gaps that have to be filled to bring the entity up to world-class standards.
Let me tell you exactly what I want. I want Air Corps Guyana to be the premier Air Corps in the region. This must be the go-to Air Corps for any country in the region seeking training or seeking to build their capacity. This will now be the new training ground for people who will transition into civil aviation in the future, having a technical skills, a technical capability. This has to be the premier institution.
This will see the establishment of an aviation academy as well as the development of training programs that will be integrated into the government's scholarship program and ultimately integrated with the regional program. To this end, the Commander-in-Chief pointed out that the standards within the Air Corps will no longer be for the Guyana Defense Force but will be tailored to be best in class. However, he pointed out that this will require the involvement and cooperation of all stakeholders.
So today is about working to get to those standards. It's about understanding each of you and where you were thinking, what you were thinking, and how you were thinking. Because frankly speaking, we can't make this investment if people are not ready to invest their future with us too. It's a two-way street. So we have to understand the gaps, and we have to work on filling those gaps so that we are going to come up with an action plan today.
Another major area the Guyana government is also currently looking at is whether to establish a military-operated commercial arm of the Air Corps.
Whether we will decide to have a commercial arm, a military-operated commercial arm. And if we go the direction of the commercial arm, how we want to structure it. Should it be only for emergency rescue missions? Should it be for national support? Should it be for movement of goods and services? That decision we have to make, because in building what I'm imagining has to be built will require a lot of resources. We can't keep pumping capital resources in it. We have to have a revenue stream that supports what we're going to do also.
Moreover, consideration is being given to the equipment that is used to carry out this service. Currently, the GDF has a King Air 350 Beechcraft that is under maintenance. It is being upgraded to seat a maximum of 8 passengers. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
Hydrogen has emerged as an important part of the clean energy mix needed to ensure a sustainable future, according to President Dr. Irfan Ali. He made this disclosure at the Artichon Conference Center while delivering the keynote address at the 4th regional meeting of the Latin American and Caribbean region of the International Solar Alliance. Fiona Morrison has the details.
It's important that we cannot have this conversation without putting hydrogen as a separate opportunity for the future, and then examine that potential of hydrogen, because hydrogen is the future. Let me be very clear on this. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but hydrogen is the future. And we have to start designing a strategy that looks at green hydrogen and how that is formulated. Because the reality is, if hydrogen is in the future, and the financial implication is that banks and the international community is willing to finance hydrogen against solar, then unfortunately it's the death of solar. This is the reality. If the world moves into a direction that we're going to push hydrogen, then the financing from hydrogen has to come from somewhere. And if hydrogen is the preferred investment for sustainable energy and for renewables in the future, then definitely the type of resources behind solar will not be there.
As it relates to Guyana, the head of state said that the United States of America Energy Department is currently assessing the country's hydropower potential.
I recently met with the Energy Department in the US, and we have been able to put together very quickly a technical group from Guyana that will work with the Energy Department at a very high level to examine our hydro project, because the hydro potential is enormous here. And we have to advance that project. And that is part of our new renewable pathway.
Only recently, Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo stated that the construction for the U.S. $700 million Amila Falls Hydropower Station, AFHP, could possibly go back to tender as the current executing company, China Railway Group Limited, CRGL, is having difficulties honoring its commitment to the build, own, operate, transfer contract that it signed. But the president on Thursday related that the construction of the Amila Falls Hydropower Project, AFHP, is expected to begin this year and conclude in 2027. President Ali had previously said that the Amila Falls Hydropower Project is good for Guyana, good for the environment, and good for bringing greater prosperity.
As the Guyana Police Force collaborates with the Environmental Protection Agency to educate the public on noise nuisance, it has been announced that heftier fines are expected for violators who continue to break the law. Luana McAllister has the details in this report.
3 months after the Guyana Police Force signed a memorandum of agreement with the EPA to tackle noise nuisance, this development was announced. The agreement was signed to pave the way for greater collaboration with the EPA and the force in the area of training and enforcement of noise management. However, on Friday, the EPA and the police force said that their collaboration is allowing for more implementations of penalties. Only last month, the EPA presented the Guyana Police Force with 25 sound level meters to aid in the force's efforts to curb noise nuisance. During the conference, the Deputy Commander of Regional Division 3, Superintendent Khalid Mandal, said that the Police's Offence Act does not cater for hefty fines for offenders, but due to the collaboration with the EPA, the police force will be able to implement heftier fines.
We recognize that when we charge people under the Summary Jurisdiction Offences Act 8:02, the fine for force conviction is very small. It's 7,500 to 10,000 and to 15,000, and for the second offense it's 10,000 to 20,000. Under the EPA Act now, the fine is much heftier. It starts at 80 to 750,000. So with us getting that act, we can enforce that act. That will be a deterrent in itself to people who have no self of responsibility. They don't have no care for their neighbors.
Mandal said this would be a good move to put a stop to those who refuse to comply with the laws. Top cop Clifton Hickins stated that members of the public can look out for the Guyana Police Force's proactive arrangement in terms of dealing with noise pollution, which is expected to bring some degree of relief. He said that the force continues to develop partnerships with wider stakeholders and will ensure that more focus is placed on noise pollution in a constructive way. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
The Guyana Sugar Corporation is embarking on a technological transformation of the industry with the use of drone technology to distribute agrochemicals and monitor crops. Bisham Mohammed reports.
On Friday, Guy Drones handed over this technology to GAISUCU, valued at about $500,000. The sugar company currently uses manual labor and planes to distribute fertilizers, but drones will be used to address gaps in these operations. Chief Executive Officer of GAISUCU, Sesnarayan Singh, shared how these drones will be used in the company's operations.
What it will do for us is, in an era where there's a competition, a grave competition for labor across this country, as Guyana developed from its current status to super status in a few years, there's going to be more intense competition for labor. And currently, GAISUCU uses two methods of applying its fertilizers and agrochemicals: the airplanes, which can only fly in what we call fly zones, away from the housing areas, and manually using human beings walking acre by acre close to the housing areas and applying those agrochemicals and fertilizer.
Singh identified that drones will be an asset in combating weather challenges, as well as setting the pace for new technological advancements.
For us to transform this sugar sector, we have to think, act, and operate like the global leaders in agriculture. And one of their great advantage that they've developed over the years with climate change is the utilization of technology to combat in the periods of extreme weather conditions. The drones these drones are assets, and drones have now been recognized as an asset to agriculture.
Vice President of Guy Drones, Irshad Muhammad, added that along with efficiency, stakeholders are able to save 30% of chemicals during the process.
One of the parts of the drone that usually helps is that you're able to save 30% of the chemical that usually been used. And that's tremendous among the farmers that use it in the rice field. They're so happy that they know that they can save. And this is what we wanted to put with GAISUCU as well. Having data at your hands or your fingertip, able you to make decision. We have an underwater drone. GAISUCU have some aqueducts we know that have been there for many years. The underwater drones as well will assist them. And with their knowledge again and our expertise, fusing it together, we are able to, we can do some inspection from time to time.
Drone technology is not limited to land and air. There are also underwater drones that can be used to boost production and enhance productivity in the aquaculture sector. Bashar Mohammed at the Evening News.
The police have unearthed more than 3 kilograms of cannabis during the separate operations conducted in Bartika in Region 7 and Swan on the Soosdijk-Linden Highway, respectively. Police have said that a team of ranks conducted a search of several houses in the 4-mile squatting area, including the home of a 41-year-old businessman, and nothing illegal was found. A further search was done in a clump of bushes about 50 feet away from the businessman's home, and the ganja was found buried. The narcotics, when retrieved, amounted to 1.056 kilograms. The businessman has been taken into custody. Meanwhile, a total of 2.5 kilograms of ganja was found during an operation at Swan, Soosdijk-Linden Highway. The illegal drug was found in a clump of bushes in close proximity to Marudi Creek. No one has been arrested, but investigations continue. 24-year-old laborer charged for death of BERBICE businessman. Hinterland Region's intake of children's vaccines positive, says Dr. Anthony. This and more after this short break.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to their ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Try our virtual sports and win big with so much matches to choose from. Betting starts at $100. Play for your chance to win. Log on to www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents to place your bets. Terms and conditions apply. Have fun and play responsibly. Must be 18 and over to play.
Stop the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Well-trained staff and warming halls make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. 24-year-old Dave Singh of Betsy Ground, East Kanchi, BERBICE, was on Friday arraigned for the unlawful killing of 53-year-old Vikram Subaran, who was found with a knife stuck in his back on August 1st, 2022. Andrew Carmichael was at the courthouse and filed this report.
Singh made his appearance at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court, where the charge was read to him by Magistrate Renita Singh. He is accused of unlawfully killing Vikram Subaran between July 31st and August 1st, 2022 at his Kanji home. Singh was represented by attorney-at-law Merceline Bacchus, who made an application for bail, which police prosecutor Chanel Mackerson had no objection to. Bail was set in the sum of $750,000, and Singh was ordered to return to court on September 13th. He was also instructed to report to Central Police Station at 15 hours every other Friday. Singh had reportedly confessed to killing Subaran after he was arrested by police one day after the businessman's body was found. Upon his arrest, the suspect told investigators that he and the victim had shared a sexual relationship and that he used to visit the man's home quite regularly. He confessed that on July 31st, 2022, the victim had invited him to his home and they consumed alcohol and were engaged in sexual intercourse. Further, he stated that when he was leaving, the victim wanted more sexual intercourse, but he refused. This led to an argument and ultimately a scuffle. He told the detectives that he went into the kitchen and took a knife and stabbed the victim 3 times, after which he left the house. Meanwhile, the victim's mother, Rose Bimawati, told reporters that it was the now dead man who called her son to visit him.
Okay, this is the Sunday. He called my son 6 times to go. And my son was home with my daughter-in-law, and she tell you they never know it today Sunday. And after the man keep calling, then about 12, my son leave home and he...
The police say the file is incomplete and asked for 3 weeks, noting that the file will have to be resent to the DPP. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Following the latest COVID-19 vaccination statistics, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has revealed that unlike parents on the coastland, parents in the hinterland region have been more active in taking their children to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Here is Shane Marks with this report.
This was pointed out by the minister during one of his daily updates on Thursday. He nevertheless stated that his ministry will work towards increasing the vaccination rate of children ages 5 to 11.
So we'll continue working here. I think some parents now have been bringing out their children, and we have noticed that in some of the interior locations, that parents are taking it more seriously than on the coastland. So we'll continue to work with those parents who are interested in getting their children vaccinated.
Current COVID-19 vaccination stats reveal that 6,964 children between ages 5 to 11 have received their first dose, while 2,061 have received their second.
We have been able to administer 445,168 first doses. That's approximately 86.8% of our population. Second dose, we are now at 344,803 doses. That's about 67.2% 2% of our population. With other age groups, the 12 to 17, we have administered 35,434 doses. That's 48.6% of that age cohort. Second dose is 25,926. That's 35.5% of that age cohort. So we'll continue working on getting more of these persons vaccinated. Pediatric doses, 5 to 11. We have administered 6,964 doses. That's 6.8% of that age cohort. And second dose right now, we're at 2,061 doses, or 2% of that age cohort. In terms of booster doses, right now we're at 71,306 doses.
Meanwhile, the minister related that 74 new COVID-19 cases have been recorded in the past 24 hours.
Currently, we have 549 active cases across Guyana. Over the last 24 hours, we diagnosed 74 new cases. Right now, we have 14 persons in hospitals. 10 of them are in the Ocean View Hospital, with one of those persons in the ICU.
Shane Marks, The Evening News.
The Ministry of Agriculture, through the Sustainable Agriculture Development Program on Friday, launched its agriculture survey at the Regency Suites Hotel in Georgetown. More in this report.
The much-anticipated agriculture survey will see the collection of data from approximately 4,000 farmers residing in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Approximately 100 enumerators are expected to be trained to conduct the survey, which is being funded by the International Development Bank to the tune of $25 million. Once collected, the data will also be used to improve Guyana's national agricultural statistical system in order to provide an updated description of the structural characteristics of the agricultural systems in the targeted regions. While delivering remarks at the launch, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the program will assist with developing a register of farmers, what they produce, where they are located, and how much they are producing. The minister further explained that the data collected will also assist the government with crafting realistic policies to further develop the sector and the country.
When you set programs, especially in the agriculture sector, you have to be more realistic because we are dealing with food and food security. And today is at a crisis in terms of food security. We have to be much more accurate in setting our goals and setting our programs. And without proper analysis, without proper knowledge and proper survey, I don't think we can set a realistic program or a program that's accurate enough so that we can capture all the activities that people are doing in the country, farmers.
He said that without engaging the farmers and knowing what products are produced, the ministry will be blindly investigating the sector. Therefore, the objective of developing the sector will not be met. Meanwhile, Lorena Solozario, the acting
agricultural development program being implemented by the government of Guyana with the support of the IDB. I am advised that the prior agricultural sector, as the PS was saying, was done more than 50 years ago. And this is important because we need the information of where we are in the agriculture. And this census, according to the best practices, should be done every 10 years. So today it's a milestone for the sector to start this survey.
Tablets, laptops, long boots, and other items that will enable the enumerators to conduct the training and survey were handed over on Thursday. Reporting for the Evening News, Luana McAllister.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
Demoir Harbor Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, August 6, 2022 at 23 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE River Bridge is expected to be closed at 10 hours 5 on Saturday, August 6, 2022, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
India West Indies set to ignite Florida with T20 action, and Brian Joseph to act as GFF's technical director. Details of these stories and more in the Sportscast sponsored by Macorp coming up on the other side of the break.
John Lewis Styles proudly introduces Everest Bags, a complete and affordable line especially suited for back to school. Lunch bags from $3,500, backpacks from $4,500, pulley backpacks from $10,995. Also available are messenger bags, computer bags, waist pouches, duffel bags, gym bags, and even camping bags, all for the same price or less than buying online. And it's already here on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Doots engines. Doots engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Doots engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.